Thank you very much at magandang araw mga kaibigan. Nagbabalik po ang inyong programang Aksyon Central Luzon Special Edition. Ito po si Sunny Lopez at pag-uusapan po natin yung Clark Conex 2012. Alam nyo, last year ginawa na po natin ito. Very, very successful undertaking. I think this one, we're really going for the jugular this time, and because this series of activities will be annual activities that will be undertaken by Clark Development Corporation, the Conex people, plus all the players in the industry. So as my special guest for today, of course we have the top guy of CILA, the Clark Investors and Locators Association, who incidentally is also one of the major sponsor of the event, Mr. Jeff Bradham.
Thanks for having me again.
Again, huh?
Yeah.
Okay. And to the left of Mr. Jeff, we have the Executive Secretary of the MCI-CT Council, the very hardworking Ms. Celine Rivera.
Thank you, sir, for having us again for the end time.
And of course, the partner of the Executive Director of the MCI-CT Council, Irvin Rivera.
Good day, Sir Sunny. It's very nice to be here again at Action Central Luzon.
Okay, and we're talking about the BPOs, the call center industry here, and the various MCI-CT undertaking. Please give us an update as to how we are right now here at Clark.
All right. Well, I'm happy to announce that employment-wise, we are enjoying an all-time high. Now we actually reached 70,000 workers last July, and we've been able to maintain that. Our fastest growing industries are the electronics and semiconductor sector, and very close behind is the IT BPO sector. So these are really the sunrise industries and the industries that have really matured now in terms of investment and employment generation. And because we have major players here, and we want to be able to attract more investors to come into Clark, that's why we are embarking on this endeavor to promote Clark. Well, not only Clark anymore, but actually Metro Clark area and the entire North Luzon area for that matter.
So you'll be presenting more figures to potential investors.
Yes, definitely. That's very important. In fact, one of our aims is to get into the top 50 world outsourcing cities, and that would not happen if you're not able to present accurate statistics on the area's ICT readiness. So definitely we have to get our acts together, get all of the stakeholders involved, give us the figures so that we can transmit them to the global assessing bodies, so we could finally be in the radar or in the global map for BPO investments.
Okay, Jeff, you agree with these statements of
Yeah, absolutely. I've got to commend the efforts of the Metro Clark ICT Council, of the Conex organizers in putting this together. It's the second annual Conex convention, and they've done some very smart things in terms of the planning for this one. They piggybacked it right on the end of the International Outsourcing Summit, which takes place in Manila. Very big, probably the biggest BPO ICT conference in the country, and very well established. So by doing it right after and following that conference, they're getting a lot of the same speakers, VIP, delegates, and decision makers really in this industry to attend the Conex. The other thing I think is really important about the Conex and other BPO ICT conferences like it is that it's not focused on a particular area. It's not just saying Clark.
Yes.
It's saying Metro Clark. It's almost kind of saying we're a hub, we're a specialized area for this type of activity. And just like Cebu, just like Metro Manila or Metro Cebu,
yes,
it helps to promote a larger area with larger talent base, yes, with larger kind of infrastructure base, larger opportunities. So I think that's something in terms of the industry side is very appealing to them. It's not just saying here's one area, here's our only solution or location. It's giving them a wide array of options.
That's probably why you're putting your money where your mouth is.
Right, right.
Sponsoring, being a major sponsor of the event.
Well, we know it's such an important industry in the country and in the area, as Jerv said. It's certainly important to the Clark-Freeport zone, but also the Metro Clark area. It's a huge driving factor in the economy, local and national, and it's something that will only continue to grow. as basically the government and the private sector have now really teamed up in terms of supporting this industry's growth. So I think Clark has a very, well, one thing I'll mention, I think Clark has a very bright future. A recent press release by NETA actually...
Clark is it,
Well, Clark is it, of course. Yeah, we've talked about that before. But NETA actually just put out a press release, which I thought was really important. They are now going to promote and incentivize areas outside of Metro Cebu and Metro Manila. No longer will they provide incentives to developers to develop, BPO locations in these areas, because it's already happening on its own, and it's already saturated, in fact. So really, in order to bring that growth and that economic activity outside of these major zones, Clark, for instance, Bacolod, Iloilo, all these other areas that are
even Davao and Baguio.
Yeah, exactly. These are in the top 10
even
next wave cities.
Now going towards this direction.
Yeah.
But apparently, you know that there's business for everybody.
That's right. That's right. It's growing in the country, and the best thing for the country to do is to support it in a way that makes it organic throughout the entire country, not just specified into particular areas. Otherwise, at a certain point, you're going to reach a saturation. You won't be able to grow any further.
Okay.
But it's important to see that. Yeah.
Right. So, Celine, inside Clark, Jerry was talking about the number of the big leap of the number of employees employed by the industry. But how many industry BPOs and call centers are now in Clark?
Okay, right now we have about 55 IT BPO companies in Clark. So that accounts for like very near to 15,000 employees. So all for IT and BPO companies.
And as Jerry said, the number is really growing, right? The demand is there. As per your observation, probably that even communities outside Clark are now benefiting from this potential businessmen or locators coming into the area.
Yes, sir. I believe there are also a lot of IT companies outside of Clark that we don't know. These are the small IT, few seaters of call centers that we don't know yet. But upon checking, they're really existing. So basically, the investors are really coming over because they know that talents are already here.
There's one big one in Nepal, right?
That's yes.
Right. Plus the malls, they're into it also,
yes.
Right?
You mentioned about the malls. We know that SM City Clark is undergoing expansion right now.
Yeah, right now.
And one of the major features of that expansion would be 4 new buildings that will house IT BPO centers and companies. So, and no less than really the main guys in SM Prime Holdings has really emphasized the development of SM City Clark as an IT hub, and I think that that would bring in complementary growth with GGLC because they are adjacent.
Right.
And we were just talking about that earlier, and definitely this BPO boom has been increasing not only within Clark but also outside Clark. So
the president himself talked about this, right?
In 2 words, no?
Right.
Say it in 2 words: inclusive growth or inclusive development.
So, is conex one of the undertaking that we're doing? Just to be ready for this.
I believe so. I think it's a necessary and important step towards that. But I'd like to emphasize that, as Jeff mentioned, this is not only about Clark anymore.
Yes. We
are at the center, that's for sure. In fact, we have been designated by the National ICT Confederation as the lead council for the entire Luzon Island group. We have been designated by DTI Region 3 as the lead council for Central Luzon. So definitely we're playing Big Brother here. I should say that we were lucky enough to be able to start earlier, and for us to be able to benchmark with other proven councils like Cebu, and the councils from Metro Manila who have been entering the World Outsourcing Cities list. So we look to them as our models. No less than the national government has awarded Metro Clark to be one of only 3 centers of excellence in ICT.
Plus, it identified it as one of the 3, right?
Yes, we are, and we have really the formal award certification to show for it. No? There are only 3 centers of excellence: Metro Manila, Metro Cebu, and Metro Clark.
Okay, that's really nice to hear.
I think the Conex has really positioned themselves well to promote this entire area. I mean, the Center of Excellence Award came maybe a year and a half ago, but really at this point, it's never been a lack of infrastructure. It's never been a lack of talent pool. It's really just getting the word out, the message. And I think the Conex has positioned itself very well to do that, not just nationally, but internationally, to let everybody know that this area has a lot of opportunities for investment, for BPO, for ICT, everything. And so I think that's going to be the big change you're going to see in these years going forward, is people are going to start talking about Metro Clark, Subic, Baguio, these other areas north of Manila. Usually they talk about first Manila, then Cebu, and then Davao, Iloilo, these other areas. But they're going to really start to see the value of being within Luzon, because the access to Manila for training, sponsorships, events, meetings, but still being within Luzon, where the infrastructure is very, very high.
It helps really with the infrastructure development, right?
Yeah.
Very close to Manila, so the communications to Manila is there. So
that's one of the reasons why. Actually, one of the themes for this year's Conex is Philippine ICT is moving up, which may also mean that Philippine ICT should move north.
Right.
That's
exactly.
Up north.
Next year we'll be more specific about it. Moving up north.
That's right.
But as you said, this is not just for Clark. This is for everybody. This is for the local communities. But the academe, have they made their adjustments to be ready for this growth, Jerz, as per your observation?
Conex is a 2-day event. The first day is basically the business and investment conference. But the second day is actually the ICT roadshow and talent caravan. So we always emphasize that there has to be a constant linkage between industry and academe. One major cause of job mismatch is the lack of communication between these two important stakeholder sectors. And so we are giving due emphasis on that at Conex.
Because if we don't, then the job mismatch would just continue. We'll be caught napping again.
And even as President Frankie says, it's always going to be a catch-up race. The jobs are going to continue to come, and we have to continue to be able to fill in those jobs.
Be ready with the supply, right?
Yes, and we have to think not only 1 or 2 years, but maybe 3 or 5 years from now. And that would mean going to high schools, even at the elementary level, to advocate what the future careers will be. In the
so
industry.
We have to target the parents also, right?
Oh yes, definitely. That's why
Pati mga magulang dapat nalalaman na nila.
an important portion or segment of our audience for the ICT Roadshow is composed of parents and teachers associations, particularly the parents, because really they are the main influencers.
Right.
Guidance counselors.
They spend the money for the
Yes. So we're giving due importance to that. That was not clearly emphasized in Clark Conex 1.
The first time, right?
Because back then it was all business, and looking at what the future of BPO would be.
So this is more long term now.
This is more long term.
This is more long term. The Clark Conex.
This could actually we can already institutionalize this as the annual format for Conex: business, academe, and linkage.
So, magulang ka rin, di ba? Gusto mo pag nagtapos na yung anak mo, may trabaho na, di ba?
Tama.
Itong ganitong industriya, halos ganun ang mangyayari, di ba?
Opo.
The jobs will be ready for graduating students. Probably, yung K-12, di ba? Makikinabang na gusto dito, yung mga, yung mga industriya, right?
Yeah, it's really one way of making, our graduates industry ready. Industry ready. It's not uncommon, well, traditionally.
Not just the diploma, right?
Not just the diploma.
You have a diploma.
Not just the general education.
Right.
But it's no ICT is not going to be just one industry in the future. It's going to encompass all industries.
And there are changes that you said. We were concentrated on voice before, right? But it's different now. What's
well,
your
businesses migrate.
observation?
Really, a lot of businesses entered the Philippines based on the strong voice capabilities of the country and the talent here. But it's only natural for once those businesses to be here, to be operating, to grow in confidence with their employees here and their operations here, to start to migrate further functions. I mean, you've seen that with some of the major banks are bringing their accounting functions, their HR functions, corporate-wide, global-wide, all being housed in the Philippines. So now, I mean, BPO is the kind of moniker for business process outsourcing, but there's KPO, which is the knowledge process outsourcing. And that's really where the migration industry is going. You're starting to see that already. The percentages are growing in the KPO sectors. Certainly, everybody's very familiar with Philippines as a #1 voice call center operation in the world. But what everybody is starting to notice is that that's leading into this transition of increased KPO, increased web design, game design, graphics, all these accounting functions, legal, transcription, medical, all these other things, they're all following. And that's a natural progression and transition that'll take place and continue to take place. So you're going to see this industry in terms of ICT, it's going to become much more well-rounded and fill out. It's not just going to be going to schools and saying, we want your son or daughter to be on the phone talking to somebody in a different part of the world. No, we want your son or daughter to be programming. We want them to be an accountant. Yeah, we want them to be a nurse in these types of operations.
Yeah, in the near future, you might pick up a phone, and what would traditionally be, an agent, call center agent answering might not be anymore. It could be, but developers will still be needed to make that platform possible. So this will not result in a loss of jobs for voice centers. It actually creates more opportunities for non-voice applications.
So more opportunities again for other people
and where
who may not have that voice or who may not have the capacity to really communicate.
Sir Sunny, we were, we're tagged as #1 in business English in the world. But why do we have a 6-7% hiring rate in the BPO sector, particularly in the contact center industry? Because, like it or not, accent is still preferred. And much of the history of BPO in the Philippines has been concentrating on accent neutralization. But today, there are technologies that would not even require the presence of an agent that actually speaks. We have virtual agents now. So everything is pre-programmed, pre-recorded, but there will still be an agent, although they won't be doing the actual frontline interaction. They'll be behind a computer. They'll be choosing the appropriate responses for that customer. And most of the time, customer won't really know the difference that they're talking to a recording because it's very interactive.
So again, as they say, we're just starting, right?
Yeah.
We're just
what conex is doing in terms of this second day focus on the linking between academic community and institutions and this business sector for BPO, very important. I mean, BPAP has been espousing this for years because probably one of the only real threats to the BPO ICT industry in the country is the talent pool. It's just finding the available talent that meets the standards for the industry. And a big reason that Clark probably hasn't taken off as much as other areas is because of this perception. And I say it's a perception because it's not accurate, is that there wasn't a talent pool. There wasn't the talent pool to support the industry here. But when you look at Iloilo or Bacolod, those areas have a total population of say 1 million or 1.5 million or 2 million people. Here, just Angeles alone has 1 million. You throw in Mablacat, you throw in this area of Region 3 within an hour's radius, you got 10 million people. And the number of schools here far exceeds some of these other areas. But it's always been this perception of talent. And that's what the industry really keys in on. If they don't feel the talent is there to support that investment, to support that operation, they won't come there.
That's part of the Clark Conex.
That's the very reason why we have a talent roadshow. We want to make the world know, hey, that we have our acts together. Here is our talent pool for the present and for the future. And so we want to really dispel that image or the perception. And admittedly, I guess that perception did exist before because really there wasn't any active action from the stakeholders to make it known. Really.
Or probably because even the residents initially, their initial target was Manila, right?
Yes.
Instead of being working in Clark.
Which is the reverse now, because we have major contact centers or call centers in Manila going to the provinces to do their recruitment, and they have to offer relocation packages and good entry-level salaries to entice people to move from the province to Manila. You know? So what we want to initiate is a remigration of talent, those that are that really originally from here but have had to work in Manila. What we want to say is there are opportunities here, and many BPO companies are paying Manila rates here without the additional cost of living of being in Manila. Plus you being close to your family.
So the changes are here, right? We're ready for the changes. Okay, mga kaibigan, itong pinag-usapan namin napakahalaga para sa komunidad, no? So ito, meron po tayong Clark Conex 2012 but ito'y gaganapin sa Holiday Inn po, mga kaibigan. Huwag po kayong alis, pag-usapan pa po natin yung detalye ng programa pagkatapos po ng mga paalalang ito.
Preview.